Hey, what's up, y'all? I brought the intro back just for y'all good people. It's your boy Foots here. We got linebacker rankings today, okay, guys? So, a lot of you guys kind of been wondering, like, yo, Foots, why aren't you giving us content every day, every other day? Guys, the truth is, during the draft season, I try to spread things out. It's, late February. Well, early March. Today is, March? I lose track of days, but it's very, very early March. We still have a long way to go. Hence what you will notice in this video. So, I'm ranking linebackers today. I'm allowed to change my mind as I watch film. I'm allowed to change my mind as I take notes. I got 2 pages of guys. That's my actual ranking. Here's what I actually wrote up on these guys. I did about a paragraph or 2 on each player. I got some more. It goes actual break. Like, bruh, I love football, man. Like, I love to write my thoughts down. I really do. And the beauty of it all is, as a guy who follows the draft and have been, you know, on that underground scene draft-wise, like me and Joe Rod, you know, Vosh Lombardi, we were kind of, I can honestly say, it's a lot of guys popping up. We were the first to really start talking that draft stuff on YouTube. Like, especially in the Cowboys community. I can stamp that. Like, really covering players, really doing breakdowns, really digging out and banging out film. We were those guys. Like, I'm going to pat myself on the back because that was my platform. This kind of still is my platform, more or less. So, I don't want to just over flood the market with content when it's, first of all, not real, and I didn't do the homework. Like, I have to really do the homework before I really come up, make ideas, because, hey, like, I'll give you an example. I was one of the first people to cover JOK. You know what I'm saying? Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I was one of the first people to cover him. And so now seeing everybody kind of come to the party and their thoughts about him, and I give my thoughts in this video, trust me, it'll be interesting because I like Joker a lot. But in my ranking, you guys will see it's going to be dope. But anyway, it's one of those things where, like, even Zaven Collins, I had him in one of my early mocks. But now I started to really dig in and say, let me move some things around a little bit. So, without further ado, here are my linebacker rankings. All right, here we go. They're on the screen right now. I got Nick Bolton 1, Zaven Collins 2, Micah Parsons 3, Jabril Cox 4, Baron Browning 5, Pete Warner, KJ Britt. Those are my kind of honorable mentions. KJ Britt, Auburn linebacker, helped himself to the Senior Bowl. I like his game. Pete Warner, kind of like that try-hard second, third-round player. I like his game as well. And then I'm cool on Chad Surratt. Like, I wouldn't even draft him. Surratt, what I saw on film, guys, I just don't think he's physical enough. Like, just kind of like, when he gets to the ball carrier, just kind of like he's not physical. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I'm cool. Let's talk Baron Browning for a second. So, Baron Browning, Ohio State linebacker, 6'3", 248. The thing I like about Browning is the athletic ability. He's a Texas guy, a Dallas local native. He can run. That's his thing. He played all over the field at Ohio State. He even rushed off the edge a lot. Instincts are good. I just want to see how he would be used in a scheme like what Dallas does. Probably uses a guy that just asks to chase. And there's a role for that. I wouldn't play him at Mike. I don't know if he has the feel in the middle of the field, but I really do like him as a guy to just run, find ball, use him in blitz packages, because I think he can do it. I mean, I think he would be able to be successful at it. When you watch film, you're not going to... athletic ability jumps out to you on tape. It does. So, that's why I have him at 5. That's not to say that Browning isn't a guy who can... Like, so, me personally, he's either strong or weak. He's not a middle linebacker, Browning. I just don't see the smarts on film and the instincts on film. But I could be wrong, and whatever team drafts him, I don't think this team will. Because I think if you're taking a linebacker, which a linebacker is in play, okay, he needs to be ready-made. Let's talk Jabril Cox. Now, Jabril Cox is interesting because depending on what Dallas does in the second or first round, if he's hanging around the third, which is depends on how you like him. The the North Dakota transfer, he transferred to LSU, was able to be something special there. He could definitely be somebody that you take a look at. The thing I like about Cox is he plays him strong, he plays him middle, he can cover, okay? Not quite as physical as some of these other guys on the list, but he can cover, and the instincts are really, really good. He's a smooth athlete. 233, he's extremely smart, and, you know, coming from North Dakota State, you wonder, like, would SEC speed be too much for him? And it wasn't. It wasn't. He fit right in. So I just think that with Cox, I don't know if he would be, he would be somebody that you pair Van Der Esch with, probably on a strong side. He can carry back. He carries running backs out of the backfield really, really well. He's never fooled. And that's one thing I like about him. Would I like him to be a little more physical at the point of attack? I do. I would like him to be that. But, you know, third round, second round, late second, I take a flyer on Jabril Cox. I think he can play. I think he can help your team. Micah Parsons. Foots. Wow, Micah. And so what's happening with Micah Parsons, it's kind of like he's kind of becoming like that forgotten player in the top 10, whatever. Whereas, you know, national guys have him super, super high. But people like myself have kind of always worried about the instincts and what he was asked to do. Here's the deal. Micah Parsons has the highest ceiling of anybody in this draft. If he's right, if he loves football, and if he goes to the right situation, he can be the best player out of all these guys, and that's including Joker. The measurables are there, but the problem is the instincts are just not quite what I would like, and I didn't see him cover enough, and he took a year off from football, so I don't know exactly where he's at and what's his mind like, more or less. And the problem is I always saw him play forward. I never saw him drop. That's not saying that he can't do it. It's not saying that his hips aren't fluid or anything, but I always saw a blitzer. I always saw somebody who, you know, and I saw somebody get fooled in the run game a lot. You know, you cut on the Ohio State game from 2019. You cut on some of these Big Ten games, and, you know, Big Ten speed isn't NFL speed. I didn't see him carrying tight ends. I didn't see him, you know, opening his hips and running down the middle of the field and cover 3 looks. I just didn't see it. And so that's kind of why they asked him to just play forward, be a maniac, blitz, and that's great. But the problem is you're a package player if you're doing that in the NFL. You're not a linebacker who can stay on the field the whole game. So, you know, Penn State breeds great linebackers. They do. And so it'll be interesting to see where this guy falls, because I do think he can play. And I don't want to crap on him like everybody else does, but I'm just not sure that he's day one ready to go, ready to carry some of these nuanced route runners, because, quite frankly, he'll get embarrassed. Zaven Collins. So Zaven Collins for a while was my one, and I still like him a lot. I just don't know if he's my Mike instinct bullet like Nick Collins is, and I'll talk like Nick Bolton is, and I'll talk Nick Bolton in a second. I think Zaven Collins is really, really good. And so some of the stuff that I talked about that Parsons can't do, Zaven Collins can. Like, he can cover well. He has instincts. The ball finds him. It's just one of those things. Like, he can drop, cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. I've seen him in, like, some really deep drops. It's Tulsa, but I've seen him do it at least. And so when we talk Collins, I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, and his size is real, okay? That's 6'4", 240. I got it written down the sheet. Like, you see the size. You do. And so my only question for him would be, I want him a smidgen more physical at the point. Like, he's a good tackler, but I want him to be a violent tackler. And then number 2 is how would he transition to the league? Now, the good thing about him on Tulsa tape, and I watched a lot more games, and I watched all 22, cut up on him. The best thing that I like about it was, like, if I'm drafting him from a smaller school like Tulsa, not a small school, but not like a Power 5 school, the best thing about it was he looked like a man amongst boys. So I'm like, okay, I don't think that he'll have a problem. Like, he was that gem that slipped through the cracks. I don't think that he'll have a problem with NFL talent, size, and speed. So, you know, I like Collins because of the more he translates more to the NFL game, and his hips are really good for him to be that big. All right, excuse me, Nick Bolton. Now, Foots, why would you have Nick Bolton? Where's Joker? We'll talk. Relax. Nick Bolton. To me, the more film I watched, with Nick Bolton leading the SEC in tackles, the Alabama game, the only game I wasn't, and he cleaned it up late in that game, was the Georgia game. I wanted him to, he kind of wasn't his best, and he still ended up with like 6-7 tackles in that game. Like, he still had a decent game. But Nick Bolton is a true Mike backer. He's an instant guy. You're not going to fool him. You're not going to bully him. He even does a great job when offensive linemen try to get on him because he's so quick. He's so physical. And this is a guy that will knock you out. But he's not a bad athlete. Like, his hips are alive. He can run. He can cover. He's not fooled in the passing game. And I just think to knock a player because of his size, that's stupid. It's just flat out stupid. Yes, he's smaller. Is he a good football player? Yes. Is there still room for London Fletcher type players in his league? Absolutely. Because if you have instincts, trumps everything else. It trumps ability, it trumps size, it trumps all that stuff. Look at what we're dealing with Jaylon Smith. He has no instincts. He can't get over the top. He's always a tick slow. He's always a tick off. That's an instinct thing. Jaylon Smith is a great athlete. He beat the injury. He did all that, but the instincts just aren't there. All I see on film with Nick Bolton is amazing instincts, so that's why I put him as my #1 true backer. Like, if we're just talking about in the middle of a defense in a 4-3, he is a #1 true backer. Now, if you're talking about something else, then, hey, cool. But he has shown me enough that he is my #1 in my ranking. Now, let's talk. Man, let's talk Joker. JOK to me is Darren Woodson. JOK is not a backer. He's a football player in Jesse. Like, what you have to do with JOK is you create a package for him and you keep him on the field. Whatever your team is, that's your base. Because he doesn't have to come off the field. He can play in the box. He can carry. There's film of him carrying Devontae Smith up the seam. Instincts are out of this world. So JOK is in his own breath. He's in his own conversation. He just is. And so that's how I'm going to grade him moving forward. He's Darren Woodson. There's room for Darren Woodsons in this league. That's what Joker is to me. So that's my true linebacker ranking, because to me, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, I'm not saying he's a safety. I'm not saying he's a linebacker. He's his own thing. Defensive coordinators have fun with him. He can blitz. He can carry. He's a great tackler in the box. He'll do whatever you ask him to do. And he's an amazing, amazing athlete. And he's an amazing, amazing person. You listen, he's in love with football. Go watch when Alabama was beating, Notre Dame's brains to smithereens, and he was still playing hard, still trying to get to the ball. He makes jaw-dropping plays. He's going to do it in the league. So if I had to put, if you said, is he the true one? Probably. But he's one in his own breath. He's his own thing. Let him be him. You can put him at Mike. You could do that, but I wouldn't. Let him be him. Let him have his own package. If you want to play dime 100% of the time with him, or if you want to play a nickel package 100% of the time with him and just make him a rover, you can do that because he's that athletic. He's that good. All right, guys, your boy Foots. As always, thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And we have 13 minutes, 50 seconds. I told y'all I got y'all. Make sure y'all hit the Cash App up, man. I don't go live. I'm still working on my setup. I got my computer back. So we lit. Okay? I'm working on my new camera. We're going to be good to go. All right, y'all. Peace.